Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Brooke versus Savage fight. And so if you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like video if you do need a like video, and let's get straight into it. So of course, with every Misfits card, I never kind of just go through the main event because I don't really believe there is enough to talk about the fighter individually to be able to say, everything for just a main event fight. And, there are some entertaining matchups on the undercards as well. And so, I always go through the whole card. Don't really give the most in-depth of analysis for each one because a lot of the time I might not even know what's going on with the fighters, where they even came from. But I try and give a little bit of something, and this is not really something that's too in depth. It's just a bit of a light-hearted thing, and I thought I'd go on here and of course do a prediction. I've done a prediction for every single one of the Misfits cards so far, so I have followed Misfits fighting, Misfits boxing for a while. And starting off with the first fight on the card, Stokey versus Bowden. It's an interesting matchup. Two guys that haven't really got the biggest of followings, to be completely honest. I don't really think Stokey's been training for that long. I've seen some pad work of him. He doesn't really look excellent. I think he's just really in the novice early parts of his career, with his boxing stages. And Bowden, from what I've heard, he's been fighting for a while. I used to follow Prodigy C on TikTok, and he used to talk about him fighting and things like that, doing charity fights. And so I believe he's had a charity fight. It was a bit surprising to see even on this show, to be honest, because like I say, he's not really a big name, but he's made a bit of a name for himself on pitch side doing the thing there. But yeah, I think Bowden's going to win with just that little bit more experience. That's about it, to be honest. Moving on, Tobes versus Kells. I believe they're both musicians. I might be wrong with Kells. I don't really know too much about either of them. Tobes sounds like a good rapper, to be honest, but I'm going to go with Tobes' win. I think he looks better on pads. I think he looks stronger. I think he looks more settled into the pro style. Well, not pro style, but the boxing style, and not going to be quite as messy, which I think Kells could be. Moving on to Raksu versus Ham. Raksu has gotten some big wins in his Misfits time, and it's surprising that he's this far down on the card, to be honest. But I'm going to go with him to win again. I don't think Ham is anything too impressive. Of course, he had that win versus not Logan Paul, but then he lost last time out quite badly as well. So yeah, I think Raksu's going to be able to win just from also things like the height being an advantage, and I believe the actual strength advantage as well will be able to go into his favour. And there's a few interesting fights in this card with what they're doing with the whole kind of pro tournament type thing. So yeah, there are that aspect as well, but then there are also YouTube type fights, which of course have to be on there as well. Knight versus Cray is another fight now, and I think Knight is going to win. Knight, I'm a massive fan of, to be honest. I think he's one of my favourite Misfits fighters currently. He's really progressing well. Of course, he's not really a massive YouTube. I suppose he did have a bit of a boxing background, so that's what I mean when he says he's not really a massive YouTuber. And to be fair, he's not really a massive name himself. He has that Chelsea podcast, and so he is still, of course, a YouTuber, which is nice. But Craig Gray's coming off a good win for him versus, I believe it was Ace Musa on short notice, and now he's coming and fighting, not too long after his last performance, and Knight's had a little bit of time out. But I think Knight's just got much better technique. I think he's gonna have much more power as well, and I think it could be a good matchup, to be honest. But yeah, in the end, I think Knight's going to be able to win, possibly even another highlight reel type stoppage, in which he's been getting quite a few of recently. Moving on now to Hru versus Jade. Both of them not really fought in a little while. Hru got that win, which was the big statement win versus Grace, in which was quite a close fight, to be honest. She kind of showed her aggression and want to come forward, and that pressure in which she will come with. And I interviewed her. She's a lovely person and everything like that, but she also showed that aggression in which you have to show as a fighter, and was quite surprising to see. But then Jade has that win versus Tash Weekender, and she has been around the combat sport kind of scene for a while. When I say around, I mean like being a ring girl and things like that. So it's not quite the same thing, but I'm going to go with a Hru win. I think, like I say, that aggression and that explosiveness and that energy in which she brings is something in which is going to cause a lot of problems to a lot of the Misfits fighters, because I just don't think they can handle the pressure at the moment, because they kind of just seem to go a bit messy and a bit sloppy inside when they can't really handle the pressure. And Jade's also quite rangy as well from what it seems, so if she can't maintain the range, then I think she's going to struggle. And Prue, I think, is going to win, and that's the start of 3 great women's fights in which are on this card. And Misfits really have made some names for themselves as, building up women's boxing and things like that, which is really nice to see. Moving on to Avila versus Henderson now, though. I'm going to go with Avila win. I do sometimes, go against Avila and don't think he's going to be able to do it. And, he's fighting quite regularly, but I believe he's going to be able to beat Henderson here. Henderson's strong. He's going to be powerful. He could time you onto a shot, but he has that karate type background. I think he can possibly rely on that if he needs to, and he obviously can't do that for this fight. And Avila's, like I say, been fighting regularly, been boxing regularly, been winning regularly, puts on the pressure, lets his hands go, and I believe he's going to be able to get the win in that fight as well, and just keep kind of doing his thing. It's really interesting to see how is progressing, and he's found his mark, he's found his niche, and it's worked for a few of these kind of misfits guys, these pros, and it's worked for Avila as well. Another one of these kind of pros, Virgo versus Batista, as well as a fight. It's, I think, a very bad matchup, to be honest. I think Virgo's going to win comfortably. Batista has boxing experience and doesn't look bad, but I think Virgo is much more of a clear professional boxer. Obviously, he's been out for a little bit, so of course they want to get him back out fighting again, but I just don't think he should be fighting at this level, and I don't think that adds anything to his resume, really, if he wins this fight. And Batista, I think, is going to be messy, sloppy, uncomfortable on his feet, and Virgo could just literally box his head off comfortably, and I think that's pretty much exactly what he will do. And it would be a rough night for Batista, I believe. But I respect Batista for always coming in and fighting some tough guys. I mean, he fought Ben Williams last time, and another tough guy from Misfits, and so I give him full credit, but I think Virgo's going to be able to win that one comfortably. And then now to the 2 women's fights, the 2, similar type of matchup fights in which, Poker Pittman, Brooke Savage. I think everybody just wants to see Poker versus Brooke again, but obviously we're instead seeing them against 2 BKFC fighters who have not really got too much of a name for themselves, maybe a bit of them from OnlyFans and things like that, but is just going to be tough and durable. Haven't really got the best of records either, and I think Poker's going to be able to win her one. She's been looking really impressive with every win she's been having, and I'm very impressed with her. I think she could be the best women's boxing Misfits fighter we have currently, and has that big following, of course, from Brazil as well, which helps her, bring more eyes to herself and things like that as well, which is really nice. But I think, like I say, she could win this one quite comfortably. I think Pittman is going to be powerful, possibly could time onto a shot. Same with Savage for Brooke. I think they both have them similar type of BKFC type styles, in which are, crossing your feet, standing straight on, just going to be swinging for the fences and hoping for the best, hoping to time you with a big shot. But if you can stick to your boxing, I think they might question themselves a bit, and of course they're not going to have the power. They're not going to be able to possibly hurt you as much as which they can in the BKFC. And I think Brooke is also going to win versus Savage as well. She put on a very good performance against Van Zandt, an unexpected performance. A lot of people were writing her off, including myself, to be completely honest. But like I say, she came through with a very good performance. Everybody, I think, was expecting a rematch. I mean, I was expecting a rematch when they were talking about doing it, and it's surprising that we haven't really seen the rematch. I don't necessarily know. I think Paige Van Zandt's gone to the Power Slam now, so I don't really know if she's really too keen to return back to Misfits after, of course, not getting the win and things like that. But I think that draw really grew the stock of Brooke because, obviously that's a huge win for her, and like I say, an unexpected one as well. And even though it wasn't a win, it's a metaphorical win for her. And I think, like, yet again, I think Savage, even though she's said to be a savage and things like that, I think she will question herself. I don't think she'll be able to land and time possibly as clean. Brooke has a high guard. She has quite a slow style where she picks her shots nicely. I think a lot of the time when she's trading, she's getting the better of exchanges and has improved a lot with her style as well, and has got a good team around her as well, a good professional boxing team, which is really nice to see. A lot of these guys or girls don't really have actual professional boxing teams around them and aren't really sparring with pros, but she seems comfortable when she is in the fire. She seems to have that aggression as well, that power as well, and no wonder she's main eventing, because she is an excellent fighter as well. And so yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you didn't, like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.